All right, it's Friday. We are time. It's
We are
Friday.
time.
We are ready to
We are time.
deploy.
It's Friday. You can tell it's Friday.
That's right. We are ready to deploy. Welcome to Deploy on Friday, episode 34. I'm John, joined by Jim. If you've never seen this show before, this is a show where we take a look at the latest tech trends and news relative to Octopus Deploy and discuss it, as two, I guess, ignorant people do, so we're just two guys
Ignorant
checking out
opinion
the tech.
strongly held.
So
Isn't that what they say?
that's right.
No, wait,
Sure,
hang
why
on.
not? So,
Something. Yeah.
how was your week, by the way, Jim?
Yeah, good, good. I'm off on leave next week, so rush
Ah,
through, get
very nice.
everything done, and out the door to some sunshine. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, it's getting hotter here, so the weather in Australia is starting to get a little bit summery, as they say. And
Mm,
I'm just
mm.
waiting for everything to catch on fire, basically, because that's what happens here in Australia. So,
Although
anyways,
I did get an email in my inbox this morning for pumpkin spice latte, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there.
it's probably some mailing list in America. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so. Just to let you know, Shipped is now listed on the homepage. So, big news. So we've got that listed now. In case you haven't heard of Shipped, this is our one day, all you can eat buffet of virtual all you can eat goodness. This is November 15th, 2023. And we've got quite a big lineup. You can register now, and we've just published the schedule today. So you got our speakers, and let's take a look at the schedule. So we've got Paul delivering his keynote address. And then after that, we've got Colin giving an update on product. Some of these abstracts may change a little bit, but we've got a secret session that is yet to be announced. Then we've got Michael talking about release pipelines with GitHub Actions and Octopus Deploy. Then we have Nick and Robert talking about GitOps. Kit, not Nick. Kit, or Nikita, overcoming the challenges with Kubernetes deployments for enterprise customers. And then Paul Grady is going to talk to us about performance. So Paul's been doing a lot of work around performance, and he's going to be talking about tracking, reporting, and preventing performance regressions with Octopus Deploy. Ian's going to talk to us about what's new in tenanted deployments. Steve will talk about insights, so Dora and all the goodness there. And then wrapping things up will be Bob talking about multi-tenancy architecture lessons learned. So that is the event lineup. We've got a couple of things to add to it, but generally speaking, this is the event schedule. So Shipped is the website, octopus.com/shipped. Check it out. Register today. Let us know if you're going to attend on social, etc. But the full schedule is now available, so go ahead and check it out.
Looks awesome. Do we actually not
Yeah.
know? Is they actually secret sessions, or do we just not know what we're doing yet?
We've got a session lined up, but we need some things to line up first. It's something I can't really tell out of school, but I would ruin the surprise. So
Okay,
best
all
to
right.
wait for it. So we're going to
That's
try and
fine.
line some things up, and we're also trying to do some other things as well around Shipped. We've got potentially another speaker joining us, so we'll see. So there you go.
Awesome.
Latest news on the blog. We got Steve writing another article on practical routes for healthy culture. This is actually a carryover of the State of DevOps report that was recently published. So last week we talked about this on the show. The State of DevOps report is an annual report written since 2014 by the DevOps group, the Dora group, and the report itself actually had a lot of tips and tricks on promoting culture. They talked about how to reduce burnout. They talked about employee satisfaction, etc. So lots and lots of stuff there. And so Steve talks about some of the things that were observed in the report and some of the things that you can see in terms of implementing within your organization to improve its performance. And so some of the things that were found. So the high performance organizations were those with more customers, obviously, higher profits, and a larger relative share of the market. And this is what they describe as the high performance organizations. And so to get to that, you need to instill some changes within your organization. So Steve goes through some of the changes that are important for you to instill within your organization and some of the things that, would help. It depends on the audience you're talking to as well. So cultural change for technical contributors, cultural change for technical management. Culture itself has numerous benefits, and all these are highlighted in the report. The report itself is actually quite detailed. It's a long report. You can download it right now from the Dora website or from the Google Cloud website. and they interviewed over 36,000 people. And there's some really, really good insights about that. And if you want to learn more about it, you can watch the video that I recorded. I interviewed Michelle Irvin, and she and I talked a little bit about the report. We went through all the highlights, etc. She was one of its authors. And so if you want the Cliff Notes version or the video version of what that looks like, you can go check out our video there, excuse me. It's up on our YouTube page. And speaking of the YouTube page, we've got a bunch of other videos that are there. We published recently the Octopus 101 webinar that we did. We've got the community town hall. We also have other webinars coming up this month. So later on, very, very soon, we're going to have Matthew Casper talking about Kubernetes. We've got to update this because obviously this one's already occurred. We had our partner webinar with Aptum recently. Matthew is going to be doing a talk next week around Kubernetes, and Matt's done a lot of work with Kubernetes, which is great. We've got a talk with Adam and Steve talking about platform engineering, the new hot topic. I'll be doing my 101 session in November. And then at the end of the month, which isn't listed, we'll also have our community town hall, which we do monthly as well. So lots and lots of stuff. That's at octopus.com/webinars. So in case you weren't satisfied with all the stuff that's coming around shipped and stuff, we have a lot of stuff, other surrounding stuff that we do on a weekly basis, almost like twice a week now. So it's crazy how much content we're producing. Anyways, on to some of the other news related to Octopus. We have a lot of customers who use .NET, and .NET 8 release candidate 2 shipped earlier this week. And so by now, hopefully you've got the bits. You can install these side by side. We're getting very, very close to the release of this thing. And it turns out that it will be released as part of .NET Conf. So save the date, listed here up at the banner. So November 14th to 16th will be .NET Conf. We will be there, virtually speaking, of course. But .NET 8 release candidate 2 is now available. Lots of changes, etc. They're putting the finishing touches on a lot of this stuff, and nothing major to announce in release candidate 2, obviously. Yeah, just getting closer and closer to the eventuality of having the final version available to us, and now we'll have an upgrade nightmare for everyone on their hands. So there you go. I'm excited. .NET 8 is supposed to, it's going to give us a lot of wins, especially around performance. Stephen Taub's article, which we cited in I think 2 shows ago, his article on .NET 8 performance, what we did, etc., really kind of speaks to that. So it'll be really interesting to see how people see the bits in the wild and how they run, etc. So in .NET 8 release candidate 2, new NuGet package readmes, simple CLI-based project evaluation for MS Build, publishing containers to zip archives, and then tensor primitives for .NET. I'm not sure what tensor primitives are for .NET. I'm assuming this is for the tensor. Tensor is the AI and ML stuff. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So there you go. Anyways, cool. Interesting. Yeah. This was an article I picked up recently. DevRel insights from 650,000 developers. So this is up on DevRel or devrelations.com. And this is a site that talks about developer relations and does a lot of meta-analysis around communities. And this was an interview that was recently done, presentation delivered by Jonathan Gottfried. He's one of the co-founders of Major League Hacking. And they spend a lot of time talking to developers, obviously. And so if you want to see some insights around what developers care about and what they think, you can watch this. And there's a transcript available as well if you so wish. So getting into the hearts and minds into developers is a very hard thing. You have to know what you're talking about. People can see through the BS, so to speak, if you're a developer. So you can't sugarcoat them with pleasantries. You got to speak truthfully and technically, etc. And developers care about very specific things. And so this is a good insight as to what they care about.
Interesting. Yeah.
Godfrey.
Not a lot of tolerance there for waffle, is there?
No, definitely not. Waffling waffling. The pitchforks and torches will come out as soon as you start to waffle. I've been on stage, and you can see the anger level peak up whenever you try and parade around some opinion that maybe you don't well know. So it's best to say I don't know, or listen, this is really interesting, but I'm not the expert here, so let's invite so and so on the stage to tell us about this instead. So yeah, definitely having an insight there helps a lot. Palumily, Pulumi
Friday
recently, I know,
equilibrium.
that's right. Pulumi recently introduced Escape or ESC, easy and secure environments, secrets, and configuration. So everyone's getting into the vault business now. It seems like so. It's a new product from Pulumi. Looks to manage basically credentials, etc., secrets, and whatnot across your cloud infrastructure and application environments. So I'm assuming it's Escape. I haven't really confirmed whether or not if it's ESC or if it's Escape, but the fact that it's ESC and it matches the keyboard character, kind of. So I assume Escape is what they're going to call it. So they have a CLI, ESC. That's pretty cool. Hopefully, it doesn't conflict or clash with any other CLIs. I don't think it does. I've never seen a CLI named ESC.
No.
But yeah, it allows you to interact obviously with the product, get access to creds, etc. Very similar to the Vault from the Vault CLI or the One Password CLI or any other CLIs that you use for a trusted environment for accessing creds and secrets and all that stuff. And so they talk about how this works and your sources, and the ESC is in the middle, and then you have your targets available. So if you're using this as part of a deployment, you could easily shell out to the CLI. You'd obviously have to make it part of the worker environment. But this can be done. And then once available, you could access those environments. I would assume at some point, if someone wanted to, they could target the library, which is at library.octopus.com, and write a custom step template for it. So, yeah, if you're at all interested, check it out. The blog post is now available up on the Plumi blog. And if you're also at all interested, maybe someone could write a step template for it. So who knows? So there you go. So yeah, ESC,
Yeah, nice
another
one.
yet another product. Yeah.
Is Pulumi open
Yeah, these
source?
vault
Never, never looked
parts of
into
it,
that.
yes. Yeah, most of
Yeah,
it is actually. Sorry, my apologies. So if you go to Pulumi on GitHub, they've got a lot of their. I think it's if I'm not mistaken, it's entirely
Apache
open source. If I
2.
remember correctly. So
Pulumi
yeah,
is
there's
true open
ESC.
source, uses Apache 2. Yeah.
There you go. So there's ESC right there, and it's written in Go. That's awesome. They used. Actually, just as a side note, let me just go over to their mod file. I'm going to take a look at what libraries they're using. So that's interesting. They're using Cobra. We use Cobra for our CLI, and this is based on Go. So Cobra, if you, this is getting off on a tangent here, but if you're
Mm.
at all interested, Cobra is a library in Go for building interfaces, and it's awesome. And we used it for the Octopus CLI. So if you go to slash CLI, that's the other one. Yeah, this one. So this is our new CLI. It's not so new anymore. It's been out for a while, but we use Cobra for our CLI, and it looks like they did as well, which is awesome. I'm just taking a look at what else they used. Let's see here. That's roughly about it, actually. Most of the libraries that are warrant discussion. All the other stuff is kind of like building blocks. So obviously, they have an SDK for interacting with their
Yeah.
API. They have Process HCL, Go Query String, another popular library. So there you go. Oh, Glamour from Charm Bracelet. Charm Bracelet. So Charm is a set of libraries as well that are great for building CLIs. So charm.sh is the website, and they have a number of libraries in here. So they have like Lip Gloss and Glamour and Wish and Bubble Tea. And Glamour is the ability to style your CLI output as CSS. So it's kind of like style sheet based for Markdown and
Yeah,
such.
yeah.
So if you want to style your CLI output, they make a number of wicked libraries. So charm.sh is the website, and it looks like they're using that for a variety of things. Recently, I saw an update. Actually, there's something I didn't include in the list of what's new, but I think Bubble Tea has the ability of rendering out perfect tables now. So Bubble Tea is the ability to create these sort of stateful terminal apps, etc. Terminal is the TUI, Terminal UI is the new hotness I find, and a lot of people are using Charm for that sort of stuff. So that's cool to see that they're using Charm. So great, that's the new CLI for Pulumi for accessing. Well, that's the CLI actually for their product. So environments, secrets, and configuration, or Pulumi Escape. I'm assuming they're going to call it Escape. I don't know. So there you
We'll call it Escape.
go. Escape to the world of Pulumi. Take you
Yeah.
back. Awesome. eBPF. This is something that has been around for a bit. This was introduced way back when as part of Linux, and so eBPF. It's basically the ability to run in a secure context. And this is the Berkeley packet filter. This is an extensibility mechanism within the Linux kernel. And it allows you to do a lot of really cool things, especially in the context of containers. And so this is a new product from Grafana. I like Grafana a lot, called Bela. And this is their open source eBPF auto instrumentation for active application observability. It's one of those days. I'm sorry. So application observability, this is basically very important to Grafana because they spend a lot of time talking about accessibility. And so this is a product that allows you to integrate with that as part of their eBPF integration. So they talk a little bit about eBPF here and how this works. And so this works at the kernel level. So it's
Right.
very low latency, high availability at the kernel level for observing Linux applications, which obviously, if you're running containers, etc., allows you to get that instant, almost near instant access for tracing. And so that's what it allows you to do. And you can set this up with their package for Grafana, so Grafana Bela. And then once you have that installed, which is their library here in Go, you can then instrument it and then get access to the data that's coming through. So it's really like it's like a subsystem for Linux that gives you really low latency, high availability for observability of applications running in concert. So awesome stuff. And then once you have the data, you can obviously send it wherever you want. In this case, probably Grafana. So
Yeah,
it'd
probably
be the
Grafana.
right place to put it, I would
Yeah.
think. Yeah, you throw it right at Grafana to render out. So as an example. So yeah. So there you go. eBPF now available. Sorry, through Grafana Bela. So this is their open source library for doing that. So do you want to try with Grafana for application observability, but you don't have time to adapt your application for it? That's okay. You can use eBPF and you can access it through this and then render it out. So there you go.
Easy.
Awesome stuff. Oh, and they're also having a conference. I didn't see this. A concert, a conference. God, what is with me today? Observability Con in London. God, I'll have to read more about this. I didn't see this. Grafana Observability Con 2023 kicks off in London. There you go. What is with November? .NET Conf, Observability Conf.
I
You've
know.
got shipped on the 15th. Like, did everyone pick the same day at the same time?
Seems like it,
It was
hey.
our date, man. I don't get it. That was our day. Oh, whatever. All right. Anyways, that's wrapping up the latest news for this edition of Deploy on Friday. Jim, I'm still waiting for updates, man. Are there any updates coming from you and your
We'll be a
team? What's
little
going on
while.
there?
We'll be a little while. I mean,
All right.
our team's produced a bunch of the new stuff we've released around network resiliency,
Oh,
and
okay. Nice.
some new AIPs around a new version of our Tentacle client that can improve throughput as well, operating at really high scale. So I
Sweet.
think we touched on those already. Yeah, that's what my team's been
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
Anything new on the, I was meant to share the roadmap, but I didn't earlier, but I'll just quickly bring it up again. If you're curious at all about what we're building, go to roadmap.octopus.com. Should be your homepage, if not a bookmark. You'll get a list of what we released. So things like we've, linked to failed steps, enhanced the script editor experience, this is what you guys worked on, eh? Improved
Yeah, that's
technical
one of them. Yeah.
resiliency for unreliable network. Yeah, nice. Okay. So there you go. There's Jim's contribution. So, and then if you want to see what we're thinking or what we're planning on doing, this is a list of some of the things that we're doing. So some of these things we already have some EAPs on. Some of these I've already seen working demos of. So our OIDC integration, I've already seen demos of, which looks pretty cool. And some other things we actually don't have finished yet. And then we have our kind of sort of under consideration. This is like, you know, the working list of good ideas, I guess. So there you go.
Yeah.
So roadmap.octopus.com. Sorry for the little side tangent there. So, anyways, awesome. Anyways, if you happen to stumble upon this show and you seem to like it, feel free to like and subscribe. Otherwise, if you want us to discuss something on this show, send us a comment. Let us know about anything that is on your radar. And until next time, we'll see you on the next edition of Deploy